But yeah, I don't know if I've ever been this sore on day one of leg day. It's usually day two that really gets you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I felt sore the day of, actually.
Did you?
Yes, probably like an hour or two after. I already felt like my muscles were sore. So,
Well, I think you guys did a great job. We had a few more things left, so we can pick up after the podcast.
That's
you know,
fine.
to finish the session.
Yeah,
This is a good level for split squats. We'll do them right here.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
that's an awful idea, actually.
But them leg extensions. After that, like the pendulum squats and everything is when I really started feeling like nauseous and that headache started coming. But the leg extensions, man, I could barely stand. That hurt.
That was tough. It was different, right? It's more of like a pre-exhaustion technique, but
It was.
I'm hoping yesterday, as you kind of reflect back in the future, it's like eye-opening. You know, you're very capable of that and then some
Yeah.
in all your training sessions.
Right. That's why I was just trying to get as much information, like just how you set up on, say if you lean forward on leg extensions or whatnot, each one. But just take it in, soak it in as much information as possible.
For
I'm
sure.
sure the audience will love that too. That's why we do the vlog with, especially someone like you, how much information and advice and how much years of experience you have is good to have. So I'm sure the audience will love that. But no,
It was the knee tips for me too, with the hamstring curls, and then
yes.
like the knee tips for like how you do leg extensions. Those minor
Right.
little details. I was like, dang.
Yeah, I think
I'm
they
gonna start
all
incorporating that.
could always like learn, man. I think training is something for as long as we are able to have the opportunity to train, you can always get better. Neurologically, you can connect better. There's always tips and tidbits that you can get from just observing how someone does something. And then finding those mental cues that help you. For everyone's a little different, right? You know, if someone's doing a lat pull down or something, if I say like chest up or arch your lower back, both of which do the same thing, but sometimes people tend to like elevate their shoulders maybe when they hear a certain cue. So I think whatever really works for you, you just always kind of reflect back on, I guess, when you start to think about why you're not feeling a movement you used to feel or how you can feel it better. And then for some people, because our, genetic anomaly, we're all a little different in terms of like our limb length and things like that. So there's certain movements, like a taller guy, he's never going to be a really strong bencher, right? But someone that's very short, 5 foot, let's say, I can imagine they'll probably be pretty powerful if they try to be.
Yeah.
So it's like playing the hand you're dealt in life. And in the gym, there's a tons of different exercises. There's so much more equipment that you see, and you guys follow a lot of different fitness enthusiasts, and some are serious about it, but regardless, they all train in different environments. And each gym nowadays has tons of different equipment. So sometimes as you travel a lot, right, I'm sure you go into gyms that sometimes have equipment that you've never seen before. You use it, it feels great. And then sometimes the same leg extension, for example, there's millions of different brands. You might use it and you're like, hey, this feels awful on my knees, right?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of the fitness world nowadays.
Yeah, they're coming out with everything and anything now. Like I've seen, like you're right though. I was just doing like our last workout together. We hit chest before yesterday, and there was like a hammer strength shoulder press. And I was like, it's a hit or miss with these hammer strengths. Sometimes you feel it and it feels good, and it could look identical. But I'm like, usually it's the older, rustier ones that are nice and smooth. But like I've sat on like different branded, but like same exact equipment, and been like, this feels like shit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't hit the same. So
Absolutely.
It's real.
And would you say, like, how people always want to rank the best, like, this is the best chest exercise? Do you think it's different for everyone? Or do you think there's certain exercises that are clearly better than others?
That's a great question. I'd say from a programming standpoint, there are certain ideologies that you want to exemplify and always follow, like a good template of like the angle, for example, right? If you're trying to build your chest, I don't think just hitting a decline press, for example, is going to develop a very good upper chest and shelf, we can call it, right?
Yeah.
But I think there are certain movements, so whether it be on a chest day, and let's just say everyone has their own warm-up that works the best for them. Perhaps they had an injury, so they have to have a little bit more of a vigorous warm-up. But if they're trying to do an incline movement, whether someone connects better with a dumbbell, for example, or free weights, some people are very in tune when they use machines. Then there's a ton of different machines. So I always tell people, like when I provide them with a workout program, if it says like incline press, sometimes it'll say incline press of choice. I just don't want you to change the angle. I want it to be an incline movement. But whatever you connect with or whatever you have the availability to choose from, that's fine. So as far as from best to worst, I think there's exercises that aren't helpful for building a physique. And then I think as far as, at the end of the day, I always tell people, like, the gym is supposed to be fun, right? A lot of people get into it. Yes, you want to look better. Everyone kind of has the same common ground of they don't look good enough in terms of why they got into it, whether it's a confidence thing or they were bullied growing up, or like me, I was a little heavier at times, I guess.
Yeah.
But we all go to the gym because we want to see the best version of ourselves thereafter. And as we learn, unfortunately, it's not just one workout that kind of makes or breaks us. It's like a series of workouts over an extended period of time and being consistent. But yeah, I would just say you always want to make sure the movement's working for you. Are you progressing in it? Is it generating the change that you're looking to see? So if you're looking to build a chest and you adhere to the same plan and regimen for a year straight, you're really good with your nutrition, and you're the same strength, you still don't have any size, I'd say at that point, hey, something you're doing is not working. The proof is in the pudding because you have the same results, right? So try something different. But hopefully that kind of answers your question without too much of a tangent.
Yeah, no, that was good.
All
But
right.
I was just thinking about the introduction. Guys, with us today, we have Sir Kyle Wilkes. You want to go ahead? What do you go by? You go by bodybuilding coach?
No.
No? What do you go by?
Sir.
Sir?
Sir.
You do it all. Fitness influencer, huh?
Everything.
Yeah.
No, but I guess a lot of people refer to me probably as a bodybuilding coach, I'd say. If people were to ask me, I'm always like inclined not to say specifically bodybuilding because I enjoy helping any person that looks to be the best version of themselves. I have bodybuilders, obviously, that excel and do really well, that are well known. And then I have average people that used to work in finance like I did that have a family. They just want to be healthy versions. They want to, be an example, play sports with their kids, and be a role model for them growing up,
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And-
I was gonna say, like, you say like you train everybody. Like, what does it take for someone, like, I don't know, they reach out to you and they want to be trained? Like, how do you know they're gonna be serious? Or do you have to find out through the process?
So I always, growing up, I guess, because I did like on the side, if anybody inquired with me, it was more of, okay, I'll give you a shot, because I'm always someone that you have my trust until you lose it, whereas other people are more so, you have to earn my trust.
Right.
To me,
That's real.
if you're coming from a referral especially, most people don't waste my time. So, if I train legs with you, for example, as we did, would you refer me to someone that is not capable or is not serious? They're going to make fun of the process, right? Probably not. So the same thing goes for, when someone reaches out to me. Now that I progress and it's my primary source of income, it's my driving passion, I'd say I always have like a consultation call with someone. And the one thing people always ask, I don't ask for pictures at first when I work with somebody when they're inquiring. The reason for that is I've been in the space for so long that I'm not screening someone's genetics. Some people look fantastic. They have no work ethic. They're horrible people. That's just the reality of the fitness space and in life in general, right? So what I screen and what I try to come to a conclusion of by the end of a call is the type of person. Like, what's your why? When you wake up in the morning, do you want to be a better version of yourself? Have you maybe had some genetic predisposition to health problems in your family, right? Perhaps you were competitive, then you had an injury and you're trying to come back from. Everyone has a different reason, but the one common thing I look for, be transparent. Like, if you're telling me what your goal is, stick to that goal. If you want to compete, cool. I can help you do that. I have my own ways and style, I'd say. There's 10 ways to skin a cat, but there's ways that I believe in work most efficient. But obviously I need that biofeedback. I always tell people, I'll give you the blueprint, but you're the worker on site. I don't know how you're sleeping, your cognitive functioning, your digestion, what you have going on at home, your environment, you're traveling a lot. Everyone's a little different. So when I have these conversations with people, I just want to understand why they're talking to me, where they struggled in the past. If someone's had a coach previously, I don't want you to make the same mistake twice, right? So I think it's really important to kind of dissect that and I always try to relate to someone. So if someone comes to me and they played soccer, I never played soccer, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a really high-level athlete, I can say, okay, I played sports before. I know what that's like. If someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I was like a ballet dancer. Okay, well, maybe there's a competitive aspect. Let me try to understand. And then I got a lot of people that have military backgrounds or something like that. So they usually come to me because they know my demeanor. I'm very serious, but at the same time, those closest to me know I have more playful side. But at the end of the day, when someone comes to me, no matter what their goal is, I take it very serious because I want you to achieve that in the most expedited time possible, and I want you to be healthy. So when people come to me, sometimes I'll do anything to be the next Chris Bumstead. The reality is, one, you're never going to be Chris Bumstead because you're Brodie, you're Luke, right? And second and foremost, I'm not willing to compromise someone's health and take years off their life because right now you guys enjoy fitness. I mean, maybe not competitive bodybuilders, but if you're a competitive bodybuilder and you want to push the envelope and do really well, sometimes there is some prerequisites and some supplements that are needed. And the reality is, the more you take, sometimes the better results you get, but they come with a slew of side effects. And most people don't realize the repercussions until it's too late. And you see it very often now because we have this thing called social media, right? Where people see people come out of nowhere from different countries, maybe the town over, and they're like, I know I was better than that person, but they started using something, or they started doing something that probably isn't healthy. I'm going to do the same thing. And it becomes like a competitive game. And the reality is, at some point in your life, you're going to put the pencil down for this chapter of fitness, and you're going to want to do something else. Maybe you have a family. Maybe you're doing broadcasting. I don't know, man. It's something different, right? I always tell people, I want you to make that decision. And I look at it like we're in a car. Be in the driver's seat of life. Don't be a passenger and you're not in control of the destination, right? So that's kind of what I always stick to.
That's good.
That's some wise words.
Yeah.
So behind us, it says the Sir's Compound. I was wondering, where'd Sir come from? Are you royalty? What's that about?
No, so Sir, I could say yes, and you could go spend some time looking, but let me know if you find something. But ultimately, Sir came from one of my clients, longtime client now, Anthony Mantello. Mm-hmm. He referred to me as Sir in his YouTube videos when he had his original Road to Pro series. So a lot of people know Anthony as one of my more dedicated clientele, one of my most dedicated clients to bodybuilding, specifically competitive bodybuilding. And that's where it got really popularized because he was younger. He's still young. He's 22. Yeah. But, that's where. And it just stuck, really. People refer to me as Sir. And then, I don't know. A lot of times people say I command respect. But, again, I'm just trying to lead from the front. And going back to what I touched on earlier, whatever your goal is, if I can get aligned with it, cool. I'm going to hold you to it. And if it changes, that's fine. No problem. Just convey that information to me. Because if I ultimately want your goal more than you do, then I have a problem, right? Then I get frustrated, and it's just hey, now we're just not seeing eye to eye anymore.
Yeah.
So that's where the Sir thing came from, to where I guess it's more of a respect type thing. Yeah.
No, it's
Makes
cool.
sense.
That's badass. That's dope.
Yeah.
And I feel like that sounds familiar, too, now that you say it. I've probably seen one of the videos where Anthony and you guys were training or something like that, and now I'm remembering I could probably hear him saying that. That's cool. I didn't know that's where it actually stemmed from. But who would you say, maybe not, you don't have to name drop, but what would be what's a good example of the hardest person to train? If
when you say hardest person, do you mean
difficult maybe?
In what sense?
Maybe just to keep on track. I don't know.
So are you asking, I guess,
maybe in person, if someone's doing in-person training with you.
But I'm the coach and they're the client?
You're the coach. Yeah,
so
you put the same thing that you put me and Brodie through yesterday. I guess certain difficulties within that. And then, I guess you can go into maybe struggles with just, a serious inquiry, but also someone that's just, I don't know. Difficult.
Yeah, so I'll break it down into two parts, right?
Yeah.
One, I'll start with in the gym. To me, that's the easy part. If you come to me and you want to get in shape, you have to, most of the time you should be in the gym. Do you have to be training the way we trained? No, but you have to be doing some type of physical activity, right? So let's just say it's specifically weightlifting. I always tell people, again, that's the easy part. It's hard in the moment.
Yeah.
But as I touched on, outside the gym, the recovery, sticking to a meal plan, those are all the things that really drive home the results and make the session as impactful as it was, right? So I think in the gym training, to answer the first part of your question, I'd say when people bail on a set, so you're in it, I'm taking you through it, and we're pushing, and it starts to get challenging, as it did for you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
I know what it's like, because I've been there. I'm not telling you to do things that I haven't done 10 times over. I've watched be done 10 times over. But those are the moments which you can really make progress. You learn a lot about yourself, both in the gym and out of the gym. And a lot of people are like, I don't care to learn anything about out the gym. That's where I don't align, because, again, we're bodybuilding or training, but I care more about how you progress as a human. how can you take that discipline and realize, like, I am capable. Like, I can fucking do this anytime. Can we swear on this? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
you're
you can.
good.
All right.
You did call me out once for bailing, so.
And
I
it's
like
just
that.
like, it's more of a mental thing,
Yeah.
right? And like, if you defeat yourself mentally in any aspect, obviously we were training when that happened. There's a time and a place where, okay, you truly bail because you either got hurt or you're going to black out and pass out.
Yeah.
But in that sense, it was more of, no, you're just very uncomfortable and it's
Very
painful,
uncomfortable.
right? And
Yeah.
you started to doubt yourself. So before you do that, I always tell people, if you go into a rep thinking I can't do it, just stop. Because you already defeated yourself. So what, are you going to surprise yourself and do it? No, right? So that's what's frustrating, is when people can't push that, right? So I didn't let you rack it. Just regain your composure, take a deep breath. I'm with you. I'm riding with you till you die. We're going to either die together or we're going to live, right?
No, you do a good
And in
job
those
with that.
senses, it's more of, I'm just pushing you to realize that you're capable, whether I'm there or not, as long as you think of it in your ear. Like, could I do one more? If there's a gun to my head right now, a gun to your girl's head,
Yeah.
you going to do another rep? And sometimes, okay, you can't.
Yeah.
Cool. Then you know you push to where you need to.
Yeah.
So that would be the frustrating part, when people can't train and give it their best effort. So when a lot of times, especially in my prime, hopefully I get back to from a competitive standpoint and at least a physique standpoint, I'll train with someone regardless. I always try to train with someone better than me because, again, I want to be pushed.
Yeah.
But I've trained with people that they can't do the same weight. You guys don't do the same weight as each other.
Yeah.
But the common thing was, when it was time for your set, you get off the ground, you go into the machine, and you're ready to go. That's the only thing I look for. And obviously, if someone is not willing to do that, or they're not injured, they're just uncomfortable, and, I need 5 minutes, or I can't do this, they're not going to make it, not in fitness.
Right.
You had me to the point where you said you have 5 more in you, and
Yeah.
I was like, I think I have 1 or 2, and I meant like full transparency. That's all I thought I had. I was like, I don't think I could do 5.
But what happened?
I got 5. Yeah, you helped me push through. You were in
Yeah.
my ear, and I thought I was like, starting to see black dots. Didn't actually get to that point, but like I felt like I was getting to that point. I was like, oh, now it started. Let's
Yeah.
get 5 more. And I'm like, dude, I'm wiped. I don't think I've ever trained that hard in my entire life, and I'm not even just saying that.
No,
I said it
and-
yesterday, but
And that's the goal, right? The goal wasn't to, you don't want to annihilate the muscle. You want to stimulate the muscle, I'd say, when it comes down to growth.
yeah,
But more so yesterday, it was more to kind of show you, like, hey, how you think you train you might train relatively hard,
Yeah.
but I know you can do a lot better.
yeah, no,
You didn't take any magic pill. You didn't eat anything special prior. You just had the grit to kind of get through the performance, right?
Yeah.
And if you can consistently do that, again, you're going to have impeccable results thereafter. So
imagine.
hopefully I answered the first part of your question. The second part is more of, again, the nutrition standpoint. So sometimes people can train really well. Showing up to the gym is easy. Again, a prerequisite for success. You have to have the physical activity. The nutrition, to me, is harder, right? The 22 hours outside the gym, that shit can be difficult. The temptations, if you live with somebody and they're always eating junk, it's just like, you know? So I think that's the most challenging part, to make people adhere to the diet. And sometimes, again, going back to the question about like screening clients, I don't screen genetics. There are some people that look fantastic, and I know they don't follow a diet at all. And it's just like, if I could only have your genetics and give it to this person, or if I could show you what you're truly capable of, if you did like a 90% approach instead of this 50-50 eat fast food, 1 meal a day type crap, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what's difficult. A lot of people don't get that part down.
Right. And speaking of nutrition, living with someone that, may tempt you. I wasn't digging through your trash can, but I noticed a crumble box.
You dig through my trash?
No, it was open. It was
leaking
open.
out. It was
Crazy.
leaking out, to be fair. We saw a pink little box.
So a lot of people know I like my cookies, right? And
That's good.
yeah, I had crumble before you came, man. All right, so I had a hard workout last night.
Today?
No, it was last night.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah,
that's
so
Did you go work out after us?
no, you guys worked out.
Yeah, that was your workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did push us. Yeah.
No, I worked out early in the day, but
Okay.
crumble and I like cookies for sure, but generally we try to stay really good on a diet. I always say like 6 days a week, and I try to have like a free meal. And then Sundays is usually when we have a free meal. I usually have like a bunch of friends together, family, whatever, and Crumble's not open on Sundays. And we saw the lineup on Sunday, and we were like,
okay.
let's try it. I just had the Trend twins in town for a week. They come back again soon, but in between, I don't want to put that in front of them. So I'm like, all right, it's now or never, and then I'll be perfect the rest of the week. So I appreciate you calling me out for my crumble. It is that is my guilty pleasure is cookies, as people know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
That's good.
What's your favorite flavor?
anything peanut butter, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for peanut
You
butter.
put peanut butter on like pancakes?
I'll put peanut butter with chicken and rice. Ooh.
Really?
You never did that?
Yeah, I've heard of that though. People do,
That's real?
people do that. Yeah.
Peanut butter, chicken, and rice, a little cinnamon, salt.
Yeah, what is up with that? I've seen that. It's a
Try it.
bodybuilding
What is
thing.
up with it? Try it. And you get some honey too.
What?
If it's in your macros, you know,
That's how you get big.
That's
I
good.
guess.
could be real good.
Speaking of like nutrition, so you know, Sam's very popular right now, Sam Sulek, and people, if you watch him, his meal plan's more unorthodox. How do you feel about that? Do you think, you know, is at the end of the day is about calories in, calories out, or whole foods is the way to go? What's your standpoint on that?
So if I'm being honest, full transparency,
Mhm.
I think that style of eating is horrible for you. It's bad advice, especially having a huge platform. Can it produce results? Clearly.
Yeah.
Are there other things that are responsible for also producing results on top of the training? Obviously, right? From a health standpoint, again, I always look at it when people are young. I don't know how old Sam is, but I don't think he's as old as us.
22.
He's younger. You're at that stage where you're kind of, you have a, what's the word I'm looking for? At a younger age, you're like resilient in terms of, you can't really get hurt. You ever see many 18-year-olds tear something?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No, they could do the 1 rep max at 5 o'clock in the morning for football.
Yeah.
Perfectly okay. They could do it again tomorrow,
Yeah.
again Thursday, Friday, etc.
All shitty. food.
Eventually, even at your age, it's not going to go so hot. You're going to start getting injured, right? Now, factor in nutrition. You can get away with, when you're in high school, you don't see too many overweight kids, generally, right? I'd say that for a greater good, you don't see too many people that are overweight because you're pretty active as a kid. You're playing sports. You have gym class, which I hope they still have.
Yeah, right.
And you're always on the move, right? So your metabolism, you're growing. You're utilizing your calories, okay? As we start to get into college, post-college, people get that 9 to 5, too tired to go to the gym and have any physical output. They start to get a little chubby, right? A little out of shape. However, from a nutrition standpoint, that's where it really starts to become prominent. Like, hey, you need to focus on what you're eating. Start getting blood results, 18, 19-year-old. I don't really care. If you even take supplements, we'll call them super supplements. Generally, blood work is okay. Your body's still resilient. At some point, it's compounding interest, right? You start to have repercussions for those decisions you made when you were younger. The way you lift, if you don't change, you start to pay the price. You have to warm up, right?
Yeah.
So same thing with food. So as I've learned over the years, what we put in our bodies is extremely, extremely important, especially here in the States. You know, I have recently had the pleasure of going to Greece this past year, and that's when I definitely deviated more off my diet because for a long time, man, I was just bodybuilding. Never missed a meal, always packed my meals, no vacations. That's just what I did. But some of the foods here aren't the best for you here in America, right? They taste really good, but the same foods I'll eat there, I'd have pasta, or I'd even have a drink, for example, at night, an alcoholic beverage, we say. I'd wake up, no hangover, feel great. Do that here, now, at my age?
Yeah.
I feel it the next day, I'm like, damn, man, what happened here?
Yeah.
So I think going back, without going on a tangent again here, what we put in our bodies is super vital to our success and our longevity. So I think, you know, at some point, if he's going to take bodybuilding really seriously, Sam will probably start to eat much better. And I think already, at the last I've heard, I don't watch, he posts a lot of videos, so I try to stay up on top of things, but I think he's making better choices because people around him like, hey, for blood marker purposes, you know, we need to kind of get away from the processed sugars and the crap. So do I think calories in, calories out is the only thing that matters? Absolutely not. And I've seen it from anecdotal evidence, coaching thousands of people. It's not how it works, right? There's like a lot more to it than that. Now, if you just take an average person that doesn't follow any type of diet, that's a fantastic starting point.
Right.
It will generate a lot of success. But if you're trying to get next level and you don't have superior genetics, there's more to it, right?
Yeah.
Just a small layer of the onion that you peel back.
Absolutely. I think that's sounds about right to me.
Brought up you were in finance, so what did you do before, you know, bodybuilding? Were you still bodybuilding at a young age? When did you start?
So I started in high school. I played basketball and baseball, and then I came to the realization that I don't have the body type to be superior and kind of go professional. So the dream kind of ended there.
Really?
And I was faced with, okay, I can either pursue education or I could pursue playing a Division III sport, something like that. So for me, it was pretty simple right away. I come from a background of setting yourself up for success, going to college, and that's what you do. Okay?
Right.
So I had winded up going to Rutgers University. I had applied to many schools, gotten everywhere I really applied. So it was just a matter of I ultimately wanted to stay home instead of going down to the University of Florida, where that's where I was going to go. Okay.
Right.
And at Rutgers, I'd say my strong suit was more math and science in high school. Okay. My brother, 7 years older than me, he is a professional engineer. Right. So again, engineers, there's different categories of engineering, chemical, mechanical, things like that, civil. But I wanted to go to I didn't want to follow his footsteps because at least in elementary years, he was always kind of setting the threshold. And I'm like, all right, I got to beat it, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately things changed when I switched districts. But regardless, in my head, it was always the same, like, okay, he leads by example. How do I beat him? So my weakest area was business at the time. And I knew ultimately anything in life works, you need to have a business mindset. So let me just go into business, right? And as I learned, okay, you have marketing, accounting, finance, as the cool kids say, or finance, as here in America we say. And so I studied finance and then BATE, business analytics, information technology. So I got a degree in both of those. And then from there, there was the entrepreneur route always existed, but not because of social media. So it wasn't really a question of, I'm just going to use my social media to make an income. It was more I had to go to school, get an internship, do all that. But if you ask where bodybuilding started, when I stopped playing sports, that's when I started getting to the gym because I would always hang around my friends. We'd eat the same type of foods, but I was always a little heavier. I'm not going to say I was a fat kid, but I wasn't skinny, okay? I was like a skinny fat kid, didn't have muscle. The only thing I lifted in high school, man, were books and Xbox controllers. That's literally it. Never went to the gym ever.
Xbox guy.
For sure, Xbox. So in college, my random roommates, that's how Rutgers works. You can, nowadays, I think, when you go to any school, if you know somebody, you can pair yourself with them. But at least at Rutgers at the time, it's a very diverse community. They try to pair you with someone based on a similar interest. You fill out some questions, stuff like that. And I got paired with a random roommate. And let's just say, think Jersey Shore Guido, former football player.
Yeah.
Looked like a bodybuilder, didn't really try to eat like a bodybuilder. And I was just getting into the gym, so I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So he kind of taught me the ins and outs and the ropes in terms of lifting. And then I started to kind of push things from there, learn about nutrition, and my whole composition changed right away the first year. I graduated high school, I think I was 175, 180, but again, I was a skinny fat kid for sure.
Right.
And after my first year of college, I was 240. I was definitely heavier still, but I was clearly more muscular. I was bigger,
Yeah.
And then the competitive bodybuilding, I tried to do my first show going into my senior year that summer. You have summer break, go back to school, end of August here in Jersey. And I had started that prep. I was 260 pounds, okay? Probably 25, 26% body fat. I was heavy.
Okay.
I used to just eat everything. I thought the more you eat, the calories in, I'm going to grow.
Yeah.
No, you're going to get fat, right? That's what's going to happen. So I had tried to do a show, and why I say try is because I got to the point where the show I was supposed to do, which was about 2 weeks prior to going back to school, I was a couple weeks out from it, and I just didn't look the part. I lost 60 pounds. I still was probably 20 more to go. So that was just a new foundation, a new groundwork to build from, and that's kind of where my focus went. And the reason for that is as I got out of the sports and competitive sports, like I mentioned, and chose education, I never looked the way I wanted playing sports, for one, so it was more of a confidence thing, I'd say.
Right.
And then also with fitness, I didn't have to depend on a team. I just depend on myself. I go to the gym around my own schedule, so despite having 18 credit semesters, I go to the gym when it works for me. I don't have to depend on my roommate getting up or my buddy to meet me at the gym, right? The progress is it's a derivative of my input, of what I'm putting in terms of if I'm following any type of diet approach, showing up every day. So that in itself became my driving force of okay, I want to try to be the best version of myself. I'm not playing sports anymore because then I have to specific time I have to play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The gym is okay, I don't feel like going to the gym today, I'm not going to go. And that was the route I took.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's how a lot of people get into lifting too. It's like that transition after sports. It's like, what do I do? Where do I go?
Yeah.
And people end up in the gym. That's good though. That's awesome. I heard you mentioned Xbox. You still a little bit of a gamer? Do you
Honestly,
game at all? Do you dabble in that?
I don't, and
You don't look like you do, but
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
yeah.
But
Well, you just seem like more sophisticated now.
oh, okay.
In the-
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I had originally, I think I just bought a PlayStation 5. And the reason for that, when I had tore my quad last August, I had some spare time. I didn't realize how much time I really do spend in the damn gym, getting ready for the gym, going to the gym. If I happen to have a client I have to pose with or something, a lot of my time now was like kind of robbed it from me. So I'm like, okay, it's the perfect time to get back into the gaming, right?
Hell yeah.
Probably a little different. Call of Duty, Gears of War is not the same anymore, and they didn't have Gears for PlayStation anyway. But I turned it on once, had like a 2-hour update, right? Started working, never came back to it. And then the next time I went to play, another update. And then I got to like install games, and I buy them, I still have to install it. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yes.
That is true.
Right?
Dude, the updates kill
Yeah,
it. bro.
so
the distance.
that
Then
was
it's like
like, I don't know, it was a huge turnoff. And then it's just different now, man. You have like, I have a wonderful girlfriend now. Back when I was playing in high school, I don't think I even had a girlfriend. I would go to school, study. Like I said, I did a lot of that. And I just played games, man. Xbox Live, that's all I did.
Xbox Live.
What would you go to? Was it
Gears
Call
of
Duty?
War.
Gears of War?
Yeah.
Nice.
You look
Good.
like you would be a Gears guy.
Yeah, I would just play, man. I would just play.
See
With my
that?
little headset, I talk shit in the lobby, and
Yeah.
that was it, man. That was fun.
Damn.
Them old school Xbox Live parties were insane.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
lobbies.
parties, yep.
Yep.
Was it parties?
Was
That's what it was, party chats,
or,
right?
Or game chat.
Game
Yeah.
chat, party
Call
chat.
of Duty was so bad.
Toxic. Yeah.
That was
Dang.
fun.
They
So
still
yeah.
have that stuff now?
Was that?
Dude, they still, so ironically enough, Mike and Chris are both here, and they both bought Xboxes individually because I basically have them in like it's not a prison. I called it a camp, okay?
Yeah.
I feed them, I bring them to the gym, bring them back here, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat kind of thing to drive progress, right?
Right.
It gets boring, right? So I'm like, oh, what do you guys usually do? Video games. Okay? Go to Best Buy, both bought an Xbox, both bought monitors, and that's what they would do, right? So I'd ask them, like, what do they play? They're playing, like, Destiny 2 or something like that. I guess that's, like, the new
Yeah.
trendy game.
I don't know.
But totally different from me. I don't know. All these, like, RuneScape-type games,
Right.
computer gaming, I guess, is really
Yeah.
popular now.
Mhm.
PC.
I couldn't tell you anything about them, man.
Yeah,
you
most
know?
people get PCs now. That's like the new. That's the
Yeah.
new wave. I mean, PS5, Xbox One, right? But
Are you guys gamers?
I love gaming. I don't really play anymore. Kind of pretty occupied at this point.
Too sophisticated?
Too sophisticated. Yeah, I guess
I've
so.
probably been going from Xbox for like a year now. I was into it. Well, back when I was like 16, all I would think about was like getting home and hopping on the game
That
with
was
the
it,
boys.
man.
That was it. That's all that mattered.
I really didn't need to study in high school. I was studied the night before.
Yeah.
That's it.
Damn, not me.
I didn't take school too serious. And then in college, I played baseball. I got my degree in baseball, which I
Very
actually got
nice.
it in management, marketing, business. But in college, it was probably the peak of my gaming, and then it went down once I really got into the social
And
media
looking back,
space.
I guess, until you really asked that, and I kind of thought about it prior, so I don't want to lie, but I guess you don't realize how quickly it happens. Like how much I used to play games is probably more than the time I spend in the gym for sure.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that passion of playing video games is kind of gone, man. It's like a
Yeah.
different part of my life,
Right.
you know?
I
Is that kind of similar to you guys? Like in terms of like
Yeah.
looking back, like I don't
Yeah.
know where I stopped playing, but I stopped playing.
I would have phases where I was like, especially during COVID, I would just bang hours out on like ESO. I don't know if you ever heard of Elder Scrolls. It's more of a
Never even
nerdy
heard of it.
game. It's an
I've
open
never
world
heard of
game.
that.
Yeah, it's a little nerdy, but I loved it. You know, because you can rank up, get new, like you're always leveling up, and there was like new things to always do, and you could play with whoever was on, and it was
Nerd.
cool. Yeah, it was nerdy, but like yeah, that passion just sort of just dies. I mean, like something got in the way, something distracted me, and then I just stopped thinking about it. You know,
Yeah.
or I just got my fix somewhere along the way. I didn't max the game out by any means, but I was like, all right, I'm good.
Just move on.
I just moved on,
Yeah.
and that was it.
For me, it was more of a social, doing it for social, just talking to friends. Like I never played like campaign mode, single player. It was always multiplayer. Just
Just always playing with people.
yeah, always
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
shit with friends, and so that's why I really played it.
That,
What was your gamer tags?
You go first.
Baller snipes in the Call of Duty days. My last one was the real Falgoust, which I probably shouldn't put my name on there, but it was.
Yeah, nice. My last gamer tag was Juicy Pump.
Juicy Pump.
Yeah,
You're into the gym at this point?
Yeah, I was in the gym
Okay.
already.
That's so fitting.
Yeah, not Juicy Pump. Spelled normally, I think. Yeah, spelled correct. Not like with the O's or something.
Yeah.
But to get away from video games, I see that score on your knee. Is that from your quad injury?
Yeah, that was a ruptured quad, and then I have the ruptured tricep on my right.
What's a rupture? Like you mean
Complete
what's
tear.
That's
Pulls off the bone.
So is that like
The tendon is separated from the bone in simplicity.
yeah? So did I rupture my pec because I tore that? I tore my pec tendon.
There it is.
There it is.
Whether
Yeah.
you had a complete pec tear, I don't know. You'd have to look back, but potentially if you had surgery, yeah. Like, was your pec hanging down your armpit a little bit? Like, did it roll up?
Yeah, it rolled. It rolled.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
you probably had a complete rupture potentially, yeah. And then how long were you out for?
6 months at least.
Yeah.
Well, not like 6 months. I think after the first 2 weeks of like the heavy pain meds and like I had some like nerve numbing stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't feel my whole arm for like the first week.
Yeah, so I
first
think you
few
probably had. So I mean, both injuries were full ruptures, so it's complete tear. Like I had with my quad. I mean, what were you going to ask about it exactly? How it happened or how it feels?
How it happened?
How it happened. You think it was in the gym or out of the gym?
Do I think? I feel like out. I feel like out of the gym.
I don't know. I would say in the gym, but since you asked that, I would say out. I feel like it was a freak
Maybe it was a
accident.
trick question.
It was
Trick.
in the gym.
No, it was outside the gym.
Yeah.
So I was doing. I'm trying to think what it was called, man. Honestly, Anthony Mantella had called me. He was filming for YouTube. He said, "Hey, on July 16th, where you're going to have your schedule clear, we have like a surprise event." Okay, cool. So the whole vlog style of video, he goes to like Walmart, gets me like shoes, shorts, a tank top, and I show up at his house, and basically I get in his car and he drives to an undisclosed location for what the event is. And I had thought it was going to be, what's it called, jumping out of a plane? What am I losing?
Skydiving.
Skydiving, right? Which I don't really like heights. I'm not a fan, to say the least. So I'm like, damn, all right. But like, why do you buy all these clothes? You know, weird. As I learned once a year here in Englishtown, New Jersey, it's like a rugged maniac. I can't think of the specific name of the event. It's like a Spartan race combination, something like
Gotcha.
that.
A lot of
The mud run, a
obstacles.
mud race, one of those.
Mud
Yeah,
runs?
Iron.
there's a name to them though. This specific one at
What is it
least.
called, an iron? Spartan? No, we said Spartan.
Wasn't a
Warrior
Spartan.
Dash.
It'll come to me probably.
Marathon.
It's one of those runs with all the obstacles
Yep.
and whatnot.
Exactly, about 30-something obstacles, 3-mile course. So we embarked on it, and there were some obstacles that were duplicates, like climbing under barbed wire and water, so we avoided some of them, walk around them. The very last obstacle
Oh.
is a half pipe. I don't know if you ever watched American Ninja Warrior.
Yep.
You're supposed to run up, pull yourself up. Okay? So I'm like, all right. Who participated in the event was his girlfriend, Allie, himself, and me. Allie went first. She's a former gymnast and kind of did it with ease. So I'm like, all right, she's probably a little lighter on her feet,
Right.
Anthony goes, gets it, but it was a little harder. So I'm like, okay, like, they're cheering me on now. Cameras on me. People are like watching.
Oh, no.
And let's just say I've never ran up a wall. I don't do parkour or any of that cool stuff. So I just thought back to playing basketball, man. Like, little did I know, I'm not going to jump 12 feet. So I thought I took the last step as the wall was going up, but I jumped before. I hit the wall harder than I've ever hit something in my life. I just remember the first thought I thought when I hit it was, thank God it wasn't my head, because like I would definitely be knocked out, like concussed, have a serious problem. But ultimately, my knee hit so hard, it was like a brake pad. As my body was going up, it pulled it down, right? So I just remember I slid down the wall, my leg under me, and I remember I just heard like the oohs and ahs when it happened, and in my head I'm like, all right, if they think I'm doing this again, hell no way. So I slid down the wall, and I'm like, all right, let me get up. And like I kind of felt out of sorts, like not concussed or anything like that, but I'm like, that kind of like hurt, like,
Yeah.
fuck. So I remember I stood up, and I'm like, all right, let me just try to like walk a little bit. And that's when I'm like, all right, let me put my foot down. And I looked, and my foot was down. And I'm like, it's no bueno.
Yeah.
I put the slightest weight. You know, you sprain an ankle. At first it hurts, and then you kind of step on, and you're like, okay, like I'll be okay. It's just kind of hurts. I put the slightest weight on. I fell right over, and I'm like, oh, like fuck, like what is this, man? You know. So I'm sitting there, and for any of your viewers that don't know, and they will learn, I hate injuries. So sometimes people on Instagram find it funny to send me and tag me in videos where people are getting injured via lifts, things like that. I hate it. I'm like, block. You know? So I remember finally they come down from up top when they realize that obviously I'm not getting up to do this again. And I have my hand on my knee, and at this point, like, I'm definitely in pain, but it's more of like a shock still, right? So I just remember asking him, like, he's like, oh, can you move your leg? And I'm like, nah, man, I can't move. So I had asked him, I was holding him, like, just look at it. And he like looks at it, he's like, not good. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Mind you, 2 days later, I need to be in Ibiza for a bachelor party. I'm the best man. So I'm like, damn, man, all right. Like, so finally, what felt like 15, 20 minutes, man, they finally come over to me. All I wanted was water when I was sitting on the ground. Like, I'm hitting the concrete. Like, I'm pissed 'cause I'm hurting. And after this run, when you complete the course, you get a beer. I don't want a beer, man. I just want water, right? So the only thing they had was some, like, grape EAAs of whatever brand it was. So I chugged that down, and finally they come over, and it's, like, 2 older guys. And like, oh, can you get up? And I'm pissed. Like, if I could get up, I'd fucking be up. You know, I can't get up. So they come over with a truck. And I sit on the, I'll pick up truck, the bed comes down a little bit, and I'm able to kind of get onto that, and my leg is just sitting there, right? And they're like, all right, slide up. I'm like, no, I'm good. Just drive slow. I'm not moving back because it hurts. So finally they bring me to, like, the medical tent that you'll see, and I always wondered why there's a medical tent, who gets hurt at these events. I found out. And they're asking me your first name, your last name, your date of birth, all these just get me, like, some help, you know? It's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how does it feel? Fucking 10, man. Like, it's just fucked up, you know? Like, so it's gradually getting worse and worse. Now it's starting to swell. So I'm like, oh, man. And then ultimately go to the emergency room, and, the orthopedic surgeon comes in, and he says, I'm pretty sure this is ruptured. So at hospitals, emergency rooms, they can't do MRIs because it's not life or death. They could do X-rays to see if a bone's, like, something's wrong with the bone from a compound standpoint, but like a compound fracture rather. But that was it. So I remember they come back after the X-ray, and the nurse is like, okay, how about you try to get up? I don't think you understand. I can't fucking move my leg. Like, I'm not getting up because I'm telling you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fall on the ground and be pissed. So finally, the doctor comes in, and he does this, like, test to where, as I learned more from an anatomy standpoint of, like, what the quad actually does and what it's responsible for, and when you don't have one, what you can't do, he did this test to where you can actually feel between your kneecap and where your quad inserts, there's a tendon, and there was a gap. So he felt that right away, and he's like, I'm pretty sure, like, you have a ruptured quad. And me playing stupid, I know what it is. What's that? He's like, you tore your quad. Like, you're going to need to get it surgically repaired. And I'm like, you sure? He's like, let's run through some tests. So he puts his foot light as possible, his hand right on the tongue of my shoe or sock at this point, whatever I had on. And he's like, press into it. Nothing. It's like, I just forgot how to use it. It just didn't work anymore because it's not connected. So I'm like, So long story short, needed to get surgery. Went to Ibiza, one leg. And, that was it.
So you went pre-surgery to Ibiza?
Yeah, they wanted to do surgery that Monday. I said I have to be in Ibiza. They're like, you can't fly? I said, I'm going.
Shit, you're true.
That was it.
How bad was the pain? Like, going to Ibiza?
It was different, man. It wasn't the greatest. So being in Ibiza, as you learn the beauty of the United States, we have APA requirements, I guess, and that is for people that are handicapped. You have ramps to get into nice places, bathroom stalls. In Spain, ain't no ramps. There's stairs, and there's, like, walkways that are like this with rocks. So wheelchairs aren't so friendly. So the first day I was there, this was awful. Mind you, it's like 100 degrees there, hot as hell, sweating, crutches, my armpits hurt. I'm like, this is awful. Like, I'm going, fuck this. But we ultimately got a wheelchair, and we just did the best we could, But it was different, man, for sure.
How was the relaxed pain? Like if you
I would just
weren't-
ice it a lot. Like I have pictures I could show you off camera, because that's when it significantly started to bruise. Like I don't know how yours was, but at first I'm looking, it's not too bad, right?
Yeah.
A couple hours later, a little green, little, not too red or purple, right? Not bleeding. Okay, cool. Next day, a little bruise.
Yeah.
When I was there, like one day I remember I woke up, my whole hand, like behind my leg, above it, is horrible. I'm like, fuck, like damn.
It
All
looks
right.
like shit. Yeah.
But every day I would try it. I would stand up and I would try, take a step, because I had like a boot, one of those boots to
Yeah.
where like you can't bend your leg, right, unless you take the Velcro off.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, all right, let me see what I got today.
Yeah.
And nothing, man. It's just it didn't get any better. I was getting better at stacking the bones on each other, both my tibia and like
Yeah.
I guess my entire leg. I would get better at like stepping like that. But you need surgery, man. Without a quad, you can't pull your foot back. If it bends, you can't do anything.
Wow. Man, that's
Yeah,
freaky.
so it was awful. So thank you for making me relive that.
Is the video of the injury?
Oh, it's on
Anthony
YouTube.
posted it.
Yeah, he posted it. Yeah,
Yeah. So
took out a lot of stuff, but he posted it.
It took out a lot of stuff.
you
Yeah,
cursing at all the people, asking if you could get up.
That's
Yeah.
probably not on a public forum, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was tough. That was my first real injury. I never really got injured, but in a
It's like-
sadistic way. I always like to, again, as I touched on earlier, lead by example and kind of be able to say, hey, like, I know how it feels. I know what it's like. An injury is something I couldn't relate to. I'd project that I know what it's like. You got to persevere.
Yeah.
Use it to check boxes in the foundation you need in place. But I never knew what it was like, aside from being an avid sports fan and watching people get injured and admiring how you come back from a torn ACL and then the other leg gets hurt, why it kind of happens, right? It's like more of a mental thing, like you don't realize, but you start favoring the other side, and it's a stronger side. Now it's too much for the good side. So I read what it was like, but as like nutrition even applies, things are more than just like a textbook. You have to apply it, and it's a different playing field, right? So looking back when I got hurt, I didn't mean to get hurt again. It's taught me a lot, right? Kind of opened my eyes up to, all right, there's more than bodybuilding, obviously, and how I can't feel bad for myself. Like no one's coming to save me. Got to
Yep.
save myself, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a mental fuck when that kind of
Yeah,
hits.
man, it's definitely tougher.
It was the same thing for me when it was my first real injury. I didn't break any bones. You have no tears up top, like your upper body's all good.
Especially my tricep.
You tore that tricep too,
Yeah, May.
fully.
Yep.
What is it, like the skull crushers or something? I feel like
I
that's
was
how
benching 705.
what?
I'm only kidding. I lifted a dog.
I was like,
I was
no
gonna
way.
say, wait, you're
Yeah.
an elite bencher? Oh,
No. So I went to pick up my girlfriend's dog. She had like a 2 Series BMW, and it's a American Bully, so they're like stockier dogs, lower to the ground, and the dog needed a little bit of help getting into the seat, and I guess I didn't give it enough help, so I saw it start to fall, and I just like in a weird way like put my hand to catch the dog's ass.
Yeah.
And the next thing I knew, like I heard like my hand, I can't touch my shoulder, right? And that's not a mobility thing. It was more, I was more muscular, so I just can't reach.
Yeah.
And next thing I knew, I heard a pop. My hand hit my shoulder. So at first I thought, I'm like, oh, I killed the dog. Like fuck. Like, so the dog is still licking, moving around,
Not
and I'm
funny.
like, what the fuck was
Yeah.
that? So like now I'm like, it's my right side, right? So I'm like, pec is good, like bicep, tricep, like. The fuck was that? So now again it's bringing me back to, I don't know when you got hurt, like usually you can hear it. The quad I didn't hear, is too damn loud going on, and the last thing I thought was I'm gonna hurt myself running into this wall.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on running through the wall. So I hear it, I'm like, whatever that was like a gunshot. Like I snapped something. The dog is good.
Yeah.
That I did something. So now pain is starting to settle in, right? And I'm like, oh, not my pec. Like, fuck, man, if this happens, fuck this, man.
Yeah.
I'm done. Like, I'm
Yeah.
never lifting again. Like, fuck all this.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, I'm like, I think it's my tricep, like, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, the motion, I'm thinking of the motion. I'm very good with, like, biometrics. So, like, I know biomechanically how things should work and function. And I'm like, oh, like, this is not feeling so good if I, like, kind of go into, like, an extension and I emulate that.
Yeah.
And then like maybe an hour later, elbows looking huge.
Ugh.
And I'm like, fuck, man. So right away, I didn't even go to the emergency room at this point because again, they can't do anything.
Uh-huh.
Right? All they can give you nowadays especially in the emergency room, they'll give you morphine or something. Went right to the orthopedic surgeon that did my knee, and I said, I think I tore my tricep. And he's like, all right, let's just do an x-ray anyway, and then I'll give you the script for the MRI. X-ray showed I fractured my elbow because it pulled so hard that it pulled the bone with it.
God damn.
And then they got the MRI, and the next day called me back in the office. And I'm like, again, I try to be optimistic, right?
Yeah.
Because I had went to my PT guy, and he was taking me through a series of exercises. And he's like, I don't think you tore it. Like, I know you heard the noise, but you're still able to function. And I'm like, in my head, bro, I know I tore it. Like, I heard it. Like,
Yeah.
something tore, you know?
Yeah.
So the next day in the office, he like looks at me. He's like, you know what you did? And I'm like, fuck. So at that point, man, I didn't care about lifting anymore. When that happened, I'm not getting surgery again. I know what it's like, the mental hurdle. I'm not dealing with this again. And he's just like, so you don't want to do surgery? Like, you can see how it heals in 6 months, but you're probably never going to be able to do many activities. And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm done with the gym. Like, that's God telling me, no more for you. You pushed your body too hard in those younger years, paying the price. Now focus on something else. There's a reason this happened. That's how I got through this first injury. There was a reason that this happened.
Mhm.
For this, there's no damn reason it happened. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to be a good boyfriend. What's going on?
It's real.
And then it didn't hit me until he's like, you'll never be able to like throw a ball with a kid or anything like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna get surgery. Like, let me just get it over with. Scheduled for like 2 days later.
Yep.
And that was it, man. So, yeah, that's my injury history, man. Hopefully it's the last one, because the third time is not the charm for an injury. I'll say that.
Hopefully. 2 big injuries. I would have never guessed those would be the reasons.
And I was good for all my life, and then all of a sudden
fun
within a
running
year,
That was
back
kind
to
of-
back, man.
I
Yeah.
remember them telling me the same thing. I'm like, what if I didn't get surgery? And they're like, yeah, you will have trouble throwing a ball, doing like simple things. I was like, obviously I was going to get it regardless, but I just remember hearing that and thinking that. I'm like, dude, I got to be able to throw something.
You gotta
I'm a
do
righty.
something, right?
Like, I'm not going to not be able to. No, I was like, I needed that. But yeah, no, the mental game. It's definitely. You think that was like the toughest moment? Like, maybe like in that phase in your life, maybe like the lowest point?
Only because I was just trying to get back into things.
Yeah.
I had, from a business standpoint, things have been doing very well. Obviously, it was never a good time to get injured, I'd say, right?
Mm-mm.
And you need a good support group, just like anything in life, to really excel and get through. But I'd say it was very challenging. And again, it gave me that perspective to be able to, when I work with someone and they get injured, God forbid, I know what it's like. This is what you need to do. This is what you don't need to do. This is probably what you're thinking. You don't want to tell me, but I know you're thinking it. I got that from the one injury. I didn't need it again, right?
Yeah. No.
So I was like, all right, subtle reminder that life can change at any point. There's moments of impact that you sometimes don't plan for, and you just have to adapt, man, right?
It'd always be the dumbest shit too, like that. Like,
Most of the time I see people get injured, assuming they're not doing dumb shit in the gym.
yeah.
Because like I said, when you're younger, you can do whatever. You're not really going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But
You think a lot of it is how you treated your body at the teenage years?
it definitely
and
didn't
stuff
help. A
like-
lot of people have asked that, like, do you think any super supplementation played a role in the health of your tendons? To a degree, it probably didn't help. But I'm very keen on form, if you didn't gather that yesterday, with tempo and execution. So for me to get hurt, it was very frustrating, because I would have thought, if you had asked me prior, had I ever gotten injured, would it be in the gym or out of the gym? I would say in the gym.
Yeah.
I fucking used to push myself real hard.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, it's got to be one of those days I would get hurt like that. But no, it wasn't the case, man, unfortunately.
Dang.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, with the little warm-ups that we did do that were also very intense at the same time, like, I will say I have the most, like, clean soreness. Like,
Right.
there's no aches in my knees or my hips. Nothing hurts. It's just straight muscle. Like,
Which
you
is
really, really nailed us there when it just comes to, like, the straight, like, hitting the muscle the correct way and the form and the technique and everything along with it. Like, that's how I feel. It's a nice, clean soreness. No knee issues at all. It's
agree.
all the muscle. That's it. Which is a good feeling. It's the best kind of soreness.
That's good.
Yeah.
My ass is super sore.
Your
Oh,
ass is sore?
My ass. Glutes. whatever you wanna
Yeah.
call it.
No, definitely. I'd say least is hamstrings, and then I could my butt, more than I would have thought, actually, because it's definitely mostly quad.
Right.
But it feels great though.
No, that's good. It's day one, right? So day two. It'd definitely probably be progressive in terms of like that DOMs kicking in, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
What would you have done for calves? What do you usually go to for calves? Because you got
Sit-up.
massive quad. I mean, massive calves.
So I have some good exercises for calves.
Some
The
secrets.
most important tip for calves, listening, okay.
Yeah.
It helps being fat when you're younger for sure.
Yep.
But the reality is the calf is a muscle. You use it all the time. You walk upstairs, walking around, carrying your body weight. You want to put the calf into a very deep stretch, okay? Whether it's with lightweight, heavyweight, really control the eccentrics. If you can really work on having great ankle mobility, allowing your calf to stretch, that'd be super helpful. And a lot of people, if you ever watch them do calf raises, they'll try to like load up the machine or put the pin to the bottom, and they just do like these half reps.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get that full range of motion. I try to get, if I'm doing like a standing or even a seated calf raise, I try to get my heel to touch the floor from the platform. Usually it's like 4 or 5 inches, right?
Yeah.
Can't physically probably get to the bottom, but doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
Right.
And the more you do that, the more you realize that, hey, I'm not capable of using half of the weight I think I can. And the burning sensation, the soreness you have is unreal. So
Yeah.
we didn't get to participate in that, but I can promise you it's enjoying. It sucks.
Yeah.
But next time we do it, it's something like I said, if you actually go and apply it and do it, you'll see for yourself if they grow or not.
Yeah. I've been actively trying to hit calves this past. I gave up on them for a while. I went through a phase in high school where I was just banging them out every day, or at least on my leg days, going crazy.
Right.
Didn't do very high. I probably stacked the weight. Honestly, it was like, oh, I'm doing 400. You know.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
usually, I'll do it on a different day. It's just because your calves was cramping, right? You were sore because when you're doing leg pressing and the pendulum and doing full range of motion reps, you're using your calf. Again, tear your calf, and you're not gonna be able to do those movements,
Yeah.
right? So obviously, it plays a vital role, and it participates in being recruited when you're doing other motor, any of your patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Random, but what's like a pet peeve of yours in the gym? Could be clients, could be random people in the gym.
Smile,
Peeve
dude.
in
You
the
got
gym.
Pisses you
something.
off.
There's got to be a few pet peeves.
It's like something in the gym, people, you
One
see
of-
people
one
doing.
of my biggest pet peeves, yawning in the gym. That's why I kept harping on yesterday. I'm like, this
I
motherfucker.
yawned again, like here. I just
Um,
yawned.
But sometimes it's like an oxygen thing, honestly, how
Yeah.
you're breathing and stuff. But there's sometimes when someone's like yawning and they're not like engaged in the workout, to me it's just like, why the hell are you here then? Like,
Yeah.
just put in your hour and like check the box for the day and move on. If you're like that tired, you're not sleeping, you know? So different than yours, but ironic.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's definitely a pet peeve.
That would get under my skin.
Another
too.
pet
I can see
peeve.
that.
I guess I would say, especially if you're in an environment where it's kind of crowded and you're like constantly on your phone, like in between sets, to the point where it doesn't even, you're spending more time like typing than you are working out. In between sets yesterday, you guys weren't on your phone. I don't know if you even thought about going on your phone or if you just never do anyway, but I don't think you physically could have really had conversations or had any desire to do anything other than breathe, get your heart rate back down before the next set.
That's a great
To
point.
me,
Yeah.
that's how I want it to be efficient. I want to be in the gym ideally hour and 15 maybe, you
Yeah.
know, a little longer if you're planning and doing things. But I want to just be focused. And then Karen, I got so much shit to do on a daily basis. I don't have time to sit there and talk to my friends in between, take phone calls. And I see that sometimes, and I'm just like, this is the same type of people that, hey, coach, I'm not making any progress. I follow my plan. I train. Let me see how you're training, right? Usually you'll get a video, and you'll get some people that can put effort in for one set. And then if you ask them for multiple videos, you start to see like a recurring theme, like, okay, you're not actually able to keep that intensity that you display in the one set. But most people just don't train with intensity of any sort. And again, that's where you want to stimulate the muscle in the gym. You go outside, you recover. Outside the gym, you recover, sleep, things like that. So that's sometimes a pet peeve, because I'm just like, hey, you're in the gym. Like, what are you, forced to be here? It was like your parents said you have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So if you're in there, just make it count, right?
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
No, I feel that.
What about you guys? What is your...
Yeah. Do you got a pet peeve in the gym?
I love conversating, and especially like at your home gym, a lot of people know you. I hate talking in the middle of my workout. Like when people want to start, just have a big conversation. So kind of like talking on the phone or whatnot. I won't take phone calls. But like when people want to have a big ass conversation with you, I'm like, okay, at some point you gotta wrap this up. It's like, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm gonna get back to my workout.
Yeah. No, I would have to say that's got to be my pet peeve. People that just like, if you, especially when they go up to someone and you're clearly in the middle of your workout. Like, yeah, you caught them in between a set, but like, you know, at some point, like, dude, you can't be yapping past like 3 minutes. At least be like, yo, if I'm talking to someone, say like I'm towards the end of the workout or it's an arm day, so I'm like, okay, it's arms. Like I'm not gonna go. I'm not treating it like legs or chest or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to him. Maybe I have something I want to talk about. I'll literally be like, all right, go hit your set. I already know how. Like I'll calculate like the 2 minute mark where I'm like, I've been talking too much. I gotta hit my set. You gotta hit your set.
Right.
But like I see people that are like regulars at the gym and they'll like lean on the machine and I can tell like that person wants to get back in the gym. It eats at me. Like I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, let him go. Like I've seen people do it to Sarah, where like people are just like, you know, like that's your everyday gym. Everyone knows who you are, and they're just like, oh yeah, what's up, Kyle? What up? What's going on? What'd you do last week? And how was IB?
Yeah, it's always because I bring a lot of, I don't know, higher profile clientele in. As you guys came in yesterday, it's not your home gym that you're at often, so you're recognized. And once people catch wind, if you're coming back a second day, it's like, all right.
Yep.
So I'm just mind blown sometimes at, I guess, the mannerisms and maybe confidence it is, right? I try to be optimistic and try to put myself in someone's shoes, but I'll be like mid-set or, you know, one with the twins, for example, and they just finished a set. They're gasping, right? And someone just comes up to them, hey, bro, can I get a picture? And at first, you try to be nice, right? Because your first interaction with someone is kind of what they're going to remember you by.
Uh-huh.
But at some point, it's like, I'm trying to accomplish something here. Like, I'm fucking trying to get this. I'm working, man. I'm tired. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but, like, there's a time and a place. So I see that sometimes, and I'm just like, damn, man. Like, you need some manners. Like, just ask differently, maybe.
Yeah. She brought that up yesterday. It was the last set of pendulum squats. And that's where I started feeling nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom. And people called me, and I could barely breathe. There's maybe the first picture I didn't smile in. I was just like, and I had to go. And then once people see, oh, he's taking pictures now.
Yeah,
that's it. You open the floodgates, man. Yeah. So
I limped over to the bathroom.
That's the tough thing. So again, but it's all. As much as I like that when people come up to me, ask me questions, I love helping people. So I have no problem with that. But at some point, it's like counterproductive because, hey, I want to be focused. You know, and it's cool, but again, it's like taking away from the point why we're here.
Right.
Kind of makes sense. So.
No, that's exactly what it is. Especially like, I just keep my headphones on, give nods, never take that one cap off.
Sometimes, honestly, I'll wear headphones, man.
Yeah.
And not listen to music, because usually when I lift, if I lift with somebody, I don't like to wear headphones because again, I like to push. I have to figure out like, all right, I'm learning you. Like I know you got 3 more. Like that noise, I know it's always at least 3 more. You know, you're just like saying it, but sometimes I'll wear headphones. There's no music, but I'm just like I had a headphone in. That's like almost like F you, don't come up to me.
Right.
You know?
Oh, that's actually really smart. Because I'll just keep my headphones on. I'll give them nods, but they know if the moment I do this, I take the one side off.
That's like, hey, come over and say hello.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I try to keep that, especially for like the first 2 movements. I always go for like heavy compounds usually to start my workouts. I just try to stay locked in because that's what it is. It's like my focus. Like it's hard to come into the gym and be motivated all the time and want to go crazy. So like, especially the days where like you're like, all right, I got to get through this. Let's get it. I want to stay focused. I don't want to keep stopping the music to like talk to someone about anything. I usually just give nods for the first hour in the gym, and then towards the end maybe start getting a little sociable. The blood's you got the pump now. You're feeling confident.
You're complacent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
You're complacent with the results that you get from the workout.
No. I wouldn't go as far as saying all that. I think that's crazy. What do you think? What do you think of how you trained me? Like, you could rate me on like a scale from 1 to 10 for someone that you trained. How did I perform?
4.
A 4.
No, I think
I'd
be honest, closer to an 8.
Okay,
for sure. There was we had maybe one more thing I would like to have done. Yeah. Right, but again, at some point, it's not productive. Right, the goal wasn't to make you, hey man, I can't move, I'm sick. That's not the goal. The goal was just to kind of show you, hey, how you've been training. Not bad. Yeah. But there's levels to this, and now you understand like where you can actually get for sure, and then the results that come with it. You guys look fantastic how you are, but I don't know from a nutrition standpoint, but I know from a training standpoint, like you could definitely step it up, and it's only going to magnify your results as long as you're eating, of course.
100% right.
So I'd say, when it was time for your set, you always did your set. You didn't really complain much. You didn't really lack confidence. Maybe you're a little uncertain, as anyone would be. It's like a natural human response, right?
Yeah.
But you just kind of complied, and your tempos were both very good, surprisingly. A lot of times people, when you go slower and you control the eccentric, so the lengthening part of the movement,
Yeah.
most people don't focus at all. They just care about, like, I use like a bicep curl because I'm sitting down, but they just raise the weight up, and then they don't care about lowering it.
Yeah.
The money is in controlling the weight down. Start focusing on that, and then you start to really see, like, crap, I'm making some great progress here.
I lower the weight a little bit too fast. Like, don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Yeah,
I was like, it would be, I was locked in, but that was burning. Especially 13, 14 reps in. And he was like, don't rush it. I was like, I can't do this. It was, honestly, anybody that's watching, I doubt you've trained as hard. Like, so some of these sets yesterday, I don't think you've ever trained that hard or been pushed that hard. You can't, I don't know if you could do that on your own. I think you'd really need someone there, like, yelling at you a little bit.
That's the challenging part.
Yeah.
Right? And to be, again, I looked at it more, I wasn't looking at you guys as a lifestyle type, I don't want to say clients, friends, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Right? I looked at it as, I'm going to train you the same way if someone's trying to be an Olympian. Like, I'm going to train you the same way.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have those superior genetics, you need to out-train people that can sit on the couch, do a half-ass workout, half-ass diet, and look way better than you on their worst day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's power to that.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was crazy. And we didn't even finish it, technically. Technically, we still.
Till after this, yeah.
We had hamstrings and lunges.
We're getting a redemption in the future.
Yeah.
For legs?
Whenever you feel you're ready.
Legs, yeah.
Well, what's the chest workout look like? We can't do chest? Get big.
Chest is worse.
Chest is worse.
No.
Yeah, whatever's your worst. But you kept harping on it.
It should be, in theory, everything should be equal, but obviously, I think leg training just makes the person the most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like anything, the most growth comes from being uncomfortable, right?
And I know in that group message you were suggesting legs, the way you were saying
because
it.
I wanted you to be able to take away, like, hey, like, this is a fucking poor decision. But the reality is to realize, like, damn, I'm fucking more capable than I thought. Like, my ceiling is way higher than I ever thought, regardless if you ever want to bodybuild or, again, you can apply that to anything, for sure.
That's why I wanted to do it.
It's just a thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I wanted.
That's why I didn't even let him answer. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
You jumped on it right away, and I'm like,
initially,
okay.
I was annoyed. Initially, I was like, Brodie, did you really just fuck us like that?
Yeah.
I was like, we could have had a nice chest pump, whatever. It would have been a great day.
Thinking like a pump after, right? It would have been great.
Yeah, no, it would have been great. I mean, chest is just as important.
For sure.
So I thought, that would have been fun. But Brodie jumped the gun and went for the most miserable workout in the best way possible, of course.
It was enjoyable.
In fashion.
Had to. Guys, and that's why this is the first podcast, I believe. We didn't go right after the workout because we still got the pump going. I don't think it would have been good conversation if we went directly after.
I don't think so either. I was thinking that prior to the leg day, but also during the leg day, where it was like coming to an end, and I was like, yeah, it's a good thing that we're splitting these up because I think I would have just been like dead sitting there, like, shaking.
Your resources were depleted.
I think I got some new veins coming in for sure. Shaved my legs just for that workout.
Did you?
No, I don't know why I did actually, but I would think it was part of the motivation too, because I hate shaving my legs. But
it works.
Looks good. Looks good. Oh, that felt good. See, this is all messed up. All messed up right now.
I don't want to flex them right now. But
Brodie.
anyway, what question I had? Oh, if you had to give one supplement that you would take every day to everybody, what would it be? Everybody would say like creatine.
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, well, yeah, from a science-based perspective, creatine is obviously the most researched supplement. Produces results for sure. I would say it's a good question. So let me try to put some thought into it for a moment. I guess an important supplement would be anything that aids like inflammation in the body, right? Depending on what we eat, how we train, all of these things accumulate over time, and you start to have what's called chronic inflammation in the body. It will affect your gut health, and you'll see a lot of, it's becoming more popularized now, people having digestive issues. Hey, I used to eat this, I had no problem. Now I'm a bloated mess, and my bowel movements are infrequent. I feel like shit. I sleep. I wake up feeling I didn't sleep. All stemming generally from some type of gut dysbiosis, which is oftentimes can be caused not only by the foods we eat, but by not aiding in that inflammation, right? So things as simple as glutamine, for example, that aids our mucosal barriers and keeps it healthy. But curcumin, something like that, is super helpful for sure. So
What
I would
was
say, like curcumin,
Okay.
BCM 95, you'll see depending on the brand, it's like a patent behind it. But anything that's going to aid in inflammation, I think, is important. So not necessarily like a joint supplement, but more, again, aiding in just overall body inflammation. Yeah, most people probably don't take, you're not going to see it in multivitamins, but I'm a big believer in like many health supps. You want to use things that you can't get from food, right? Obviously, again, I'm a very whole food based advocate, organic. What you put in your body is important. We only get one body, right? So that's what I kind of focus on. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say creatine.
I figured.
Yeah.
You can get that through diet, technically, huh?
Some
like-
creatine, but
not a
usually you would
lot.
supplement with more, you know,
Yeah.
any type of powder. But, you know, a lot. I'd say most high schoolers, that was like what the most extreme thing they would take back in the day. But, you know, it's definitely something, it's a staple. But many people don't use it for some reason. But
Yeah.
it's the most researched supplement. So creatine is something I think everyone should take. It's in most pre-workouts, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think everybody gets that you work out. What do you do besides that? What do you
Wow.
do for fun?
Why does everybody get that I work out? I've downsized
Because you're massive.
significantly.
It's kind of your thing.
Yeah.
What do I do for fun, man?
Do you have fun?
No, I hate life every day. What do I do for fun? I love watching sports. Avid sports fan. For
What's your
sure.
sports team?
All New York. So the Yankees, Knicks,
Hell yeah,
Giants.
hell yeah.
Not too
Not
proud of
Giants,
the Giants. What do you like? I can only imagine these answers. Let's hear them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Louisiana, so
Yeah, that's problem number one. Go ahead.
New Orleans is for basketball and football, and I'm a big LSU fan.
Okay.
And in baseball, I'm a Boston fan, so that's why I kind of made that face.
Why Boston?
Manny Ramirez was my favorite player, and then that team back then, I think I got into it around like, maybe like the 2005, 2006 era. So like Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, those are all my
Belichick.
favorite players. And because Louisiana doesn't have a team, so
Right.
I had the choice to root for anybody, and that was my team.
Well, it's unfortunate. They've been good though of late. Not
Yeah.
this year, but it's okay.
It's okay.
So I watch sports. That's like something I do for fun. Aside from that, I work a lot now, man. I'm very focused on helping people of all sorts. If I can help you, I try to. If I can't, it's frustrating, but I try to do my best.
Hell yeah. What's your what do you eat for breakfast?
I actually intermittent fast.
You fast?
No, hell no.
Oh.
It's good for gut health purposes, but it's not sustainable long term, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do I eat for breakfast? So pretty much my breakfast is always the same. I don't really like egg whites. So I've always been more of like chicken and whole eggs. I'll eat. I like whole eggs. I like the yolk, but
Yeah,
otherwise, depending on if I'm more in like a contest prep, something like that, then food gets limited. But generally, in a perfect world, I have like a protein source, whether it's egg whites or chicken. I'll have about 10 grams of fat, whether it's from whole eggs or avocado. And then if I'm having carbs, I'll have some jasmine rice with it. I generally like that concoction of the egg, chicken, and rice. Otherwise, cream of rice is an option. I've never been an oatmeal guy. For me, when I have oatmeal, I have problems with my gut. Right, I get a lot of bloating. Or maybe it's the fiber, it's just the way I react to it. So yeah, that's always been my breakfast, pretty much. Sometimes I'll dabble in sourdough bread or English muffins, but yeah, that's my go-to. What about you? What is your breakfast?
He's a big breakfast guy.
Big breakfast guy. Right now, I like doing I just be.
You look
How
like a
much you ate
protein.
yesterday?
You look like a pancake guy.
I am a pancake
Yeah,
guy.
I can tell.
I like French toast too, like big French toast guy. But I've been more trying to eat better foods. So I've been doing English, like multigrain English muffins. with-
Multigrain.
Yeah,
Make you feel healthier?
I would say so.
Okay.
It's lower on the calories when you see it on the label. So there's that. I do low sugar oatmeal packs.
Low sugar.
Low sugar,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm
Makes you
cut-
feel better. Yeah.
Makes me feel better. Yeah. What would you say about that so far?
That's okay.
Okay, 6 whole eggs. I like my yolks just like you do too.
You have 6 whole eggs?
6 whole eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, I love. I'm hungry in the morning, and I'd rather eat less, like not load up on the carbs. Like usually I want pancakes and French toast, but try to make better options. Low sugar oatmeal, and then I'll do 2 turkey bacon, and now I'll be doing turkey sausage too, because this tastes so good. Yeah, not bad, right?
No, it's good.
Yeah, pretty high protein for sure.
Protein, fat base, yeah. A little bit of carbs, 50 grams maybe, right?
Does that sound good?
It's fine if it works
Minus
for you, for
oatmeal.
sure. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, how often do you eat? Like, do you have how many meals do you have a day?
1, 2, like 3 to 4.
Okay,
3 to 4.
not bad.
Yeah, and a protein shake. I don't count the protein shake,
Okay.
just something like that. I don't track anything though.
Too cool for tracking?
No, I just never got into it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just a gym bro.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Stereotypical. That's all he wears, like wife beaters.
I've seen and heard, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. No, it
No.
works. Like I said, I mean,
It's my high school fit
I
too.
think the detriment of getting into like fitness and bodybuilding, you will forever have body dysmorphia.
Yes.
If you ask me right now, Kyle, I want to work with you, I want to attain this physique, we'll get you there. And when you get there, it's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, hey, Brodie, you told me this is what you wanted. Yeah, but. And it's like, okay, whatever. So you'll forever have body dysmorphia. When you look really good, you think you're fat, and then you look back and oh, I did look pretty good. But from a tracking standpoint, bodybuilding has ruined me to where I think macro-based. When I go to eat something, I calculate in my head like, okay,
Like a rough.
this is what it is,
Yeah.
you know? Whereas
Yeah, I know
back in the
exactly.
day when I was playing the video games, I just eat whatever. I didn't track my macros. Looking back, it
Doritos,
probably
food.
wasn't the most healthy for my body type, and that's why I was a little heavier. But yeah, Chips Ahoy, man, you know,
Chips Ahoy.
it works.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite cookie growing up?
Yeah, I like Chips Ahoy.
I tell everyone that. I grew up on that. I would take, this is so bad. I would take like a whole row. You know how they come in the little long packs? Anyway, I would take a whole row, put it in a glass of milk, and just crush it up. So
I
Ghost,
just eat them dry, man. I'm just,
Yeah, that's crazy.
just
eat them
pound
dry? Oh, no,
Yeah.
I had to have milk.
I didn't need no milk.
That's crazy.
I would have
But-
been fatter.
I think they're both good in their own way. Too much milk. I don't think I was ever a big dunker of the Chips Ahoy. I like dunking, obviously, Oreos.
That's okay. You're allowed to have wrong opinions, but it
Wrong
definitely goes with milk
opinions.
better.
It's an opinion. It can't be
Nowadays, they have.
That's the joke.
Last
Nah.
time I was in the. I don't go down the cookie aisle much.
Yeah,
But-
temptations.
They have every flavor now. It's like, where was this 20 years ago?
Right.
It's crazy.
Interesting. But
Yeah,
no,
no,
that's,
they got literally everything now. They got like the red velvets. They got like they do double chocolate.
I see new flavors every
What's
time.
Birthday cake. Yeah,
Crazy.
birthday cakes are becoming a popular flavor within pastries.
but no, I still feel like I eat it every day because Ghost does a Chips Ahoy protein.
Okay.
Tastes exactly like when I used to crush it up and put it in milk.
That was a smart, sophisticated plug right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah, that was good right there. I have to say.
Coach Reds.
Um,
No, I'm not plugging.
no, what is you can't say crumble cookie, but what's your favorite cheat meal? I don't know. I'm not assuming that is your favorite cheat meal.
You
but
think I eat cheat meals?
Yeah, I think that. I don't know. Do you have fun?
I like a good burger and fries. I like sushi, though sushi can be kept clean, so I don't really refer to it much as a cheat meal.
Right.
Burger and fries, I'd say the last 2 years, I go to a lot of good restaurants, and by good I mean fine dining, like
Yeah.
high quality steakhouses,
Sophisticated.
pasta, stuff like that. So I enjoy that a lot. Eating a good steak and having, some spicy rig with it, good appetizers, dessert after, that definitely puts me on my hind side.
Yeah. What's a good? What about dessert? Like tiramisu.
No, anything with peanut butter, man. You throw a
Oh,
skillet
yeah, you did
cookie,
say that, peanut butter.
crush that, and then ice cream. Since most, I'd say 9 people out of 10, if you go into a longer term, you go to compete in bodybuilding and you are on a strict regimen that's kind of dairy free, you will ultimately have a hard time incorporating ice cream once you go back into it, So now whenever I have ice cream, I pay the consequences for it, right? There are friendlier options like froyo or something, but sometimes nothing works quite like ice cream does.
The Ninja Creamies, right?
The
That's
Ninja
a hack
Creamy is
now.
something I just recently invested in. It's been very helpful for sure. It's definitely kind of hits a lot of cravings, which I think is important to a sustainable diet, is not having cravings, which are ultimately created by poor choices in terms of maybe you just neglect to have any fruits in your diet, so you're not getting any sugars, things you ultimately like sometimes. So whenever I try to provide a diet to someone, I always try to understand what is it that you like. The only time I have a problem with certain foods is if you're telling me, hey, when I eat this, I feel this way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm having issues. Then I'd say, I don't care if you like it. You obviously are allergic to it, potentially, if you get a food sensitivity test, or you just don't do well with it, so pick something else. But otherwise, if your diet's comprised of foods that you enjoy, pancakes and stuff, cool. As long as you're healthy.
Yeah, the pancakes are good.
Yeah.
IHOP.
IHOP, huh?
You like IHOP?
Does it look like I like IHOP?
Damn. You don't
Yes,
use it?
they have the.
Yes,
Last time I was at
you do.
IHOP,
You do
honestly,
look
it was
like
probably
you
like a
like
1 a.m. They had like the all-you-can-eat pancakes. I put them down
Yeah.
for sure.
You put syrup on it? Or you think they're low sugar? The zero sugar?
It makes me feel better. What do you think I choose?
Yeah, the zero sugar. Of
course.
Do you think that you get used to it? Like, you know how eventually, like, you drink diet sodas and now you don't know that you don't even know the difference between a Coke and a Diet Coke, right?
You get used to it. I think
get
your
used to
taste
it.
buds. At first, I remember. Again, I wasn't the healthiest kid. All right. So I would when I had soda, maybe it was a cheap brand like RC Cola or something, right? But there's a distinct difference between Diet Coke and Coca-Cola. And at first, when I would have a Diet Coke, get that away from me. Now, I prefer it. And I think if you had given me the original, I'd be like, oh, this is too sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember the taste of a Diet Coke because my mom would drink them. I'm like, yeah. No.
I can't tell you the last time I
And
drank
now
a
I like it.
regular.
I prefer them. I think they
Do you
taste
have
better.
Diet Pop?
Yeah. I'd rather go sparkling water, but I do every once in a while. I'll pick up a case of like, what is it? Last week I was on Dr Pepper Zero.
Okay.
I was
Switch
a
up.
Dr Pepper guy growing up. Oh, for a while I was on Coke Zero.
Okay.
But there's periods where I just stick to my hydration drinks and sparkling water.
In Louisiana, do you call it soda?
If you really go to around our ports, like my parents would call it pop.
So you refer to it as pop. You just try to
I
sound
don't.
like us.
I'm
Just
the younger generation, so I'll say soda.
What do you put on ice cream?
On ice cream,
Yeah, what's the little toppings you put on ice cream called?
sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Yeah.
And then if you want to, like a Jimmy John's or a Wawa, what's the sandwiches called?
Sub.
Sub?
Mhm.
Have you just like become a New Jersey resident, kind of? Is that why you call it these
Yeah.
things?
We've changed this.
Or do you actually call it that down there?
I've always called it that.
Oh, okay.
I
Fair
have.
enough.
No, my parents and all had different terms for stuff.
Oh, so you didn't want to stay with your parents?
Oof. You want to be?
No, it was. That's good. No, I don't know. I don't know. Just like the younger people just don't use it no more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Run away from
I was
home.
trying to think of another term besides pop that I could use.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I've heard
it'll come to
pop.
me.
Like Mikey and Chris that were recently here, they refer to it as like, can we have a Diet Pop, coach? And at first I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
pop.
But I'm like, oh, all right, soda. Cool.
Wait, you saying the twins?
Yeah.
They call it pop?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Interesting.
funny. I never actually heard. I don't know. I know people refer to it as pop, but I don't know if anyone.
What were you getting
Fun
at
of me.
there? What do people call sprinkles?
Some people call them like Jimmy's.
Yeah,
Jimmy's?
I was thinking. I knew there was
Yeah.
a word. I couldn't think of it.
I don't
And
even-
what about?
I don't think I
what about
ever
for
heard.
sub? You're thinking hoagie?
Yeah, some people say hoagie.
Oh yeah, I've never used that word.
I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. I don't use hoagies.
People that say hoagie,
Yeah, sometimes when I see it listed on like Wawa, I'm like, hoagies? Do I eat hoagies?
they have Hoagie Fest, actually. That's,
Really?
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the summer months.
What is it?
Mind blown, I know.
Anyway. But yeah, one more serious. We could wrap things up. Where we at? Yeah,
Solid.
it's a good time.
It's a good time for us.
One more. How you feel about all the optimal training people coming out, spawning,
The science-based trainers.
science base?
If you
Yeah.
don't look like a trainer, if you don't look like how someone wants to look, then what are you giving advice for? Right? If I wanted to go to Planet Fitness for training, or I guess I used to do my cardio Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness. Very clean environment, great Stairmasters. So I enjoy going there, right? They're everywhere. I'd always see trainers there sometimes. They're very skinny, got the glasses, don't look like they ever pick up weights, but then they're telling you how to do things. Again, do I think you have to be a walking advertisement and billboard of what you represent? No, but at the end of the day, I want to look at someone and kind of go from lead from the front, right? So if someone's getting into bodybuilding, but you've never done a bodybuilding show, if someone is trying to advocate for, hey, this is what happens when you take steroids, this is what will occur. Do I want to listen to someone that's never taken a steroid in their life? No.
That's true.
Right? So I find it comical to a degree. It's helpful, right? It's definitely helpful. I'm not going to say it's not helpful, but if you just focus on squeezing the muscle, anybody big, any big guy, whatever comes to mind when I say big, who comes to mind? Big guy.
First, I was thinking Rich Piana. I don't know
Okay.
why.
What about you?
Right off the top, it was Sam Sulek. I don't know why. Well, because he's against optimal. That's why I was
Right.
thinking.
Okay. Fair
I was
enough.
gonna-
Fine.
I was gonna-
Fair.
I was
Fine.
gonna ask you about eagle lifting. He was.
I would say they're stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most, even Sam's relatively strong for his age and his body type rather. You're not going to produce muscular physique lifting all dinky, like, oh, this is optimal, this is the right angle and this amount of volume, and without the intensity like we kind of showcased yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Not going to work. You have
Yeah.
phenomenal genetics, you can look at the weight, do 10 curls, you'll grow. But we're talking about the average person. Most of us listening, right, we're just average people. So we need to kind of, dot our I's, cross our T's when it comes to the little things. So that's my take on it. Hopefully I don't offend anyone, but
It's good.
No.
I think it's applicable, but it's not going to produce results. It's kind of gimmicky,
Yeah.
you know?
When you think of a
Yeah.
big person, someone who's massive, who you think of?
Me.
I was
Yeah.
No,
gonna say-
no. Like Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler, someone
Yeah.
like that, or Nick Walker or someone. Even Chris Bumstead, he's bigger for sure.
Yeah.
All of those guys are fucking strong, man.
Yeah.
They might not lift as heavy as they used to, or they've built the base so they don't need to, but they're not curling 10-pound dumbbells. They're not
Yeah.
struggling with 50-pound
Is
bench
that
press.
is that what these optimal people like preach? Is like super lightweight?
A lot of them don't. Yeah, they don't go heavy. I don't want to name drop, but a lot that come to mind, they're not strong.
Yeah.
They look like nerds. I don't
Yeah.
know. And they've always looked like nerds. They've never been
Yeah.
to one spectrum and then they've rescinded by their own accord.
Yeah. I don't go into every lift or anything like that, and I'm not a power lifter, but having strength is part of the I would want muscle, but I'd also want it to reflect,
Yeah. And you touched on, you were going to ask, I guess, another two-part question, eagle lifting.
Oh no, that's why I had Sam in my head.
Gotcha.
Because I saw he reacted at if I was thinking he was in my head already because a lot of people called him out for eagle lifting.
Mm-hmm. It's like a fine line.
Uh-huh.
To be big, you need to move numbers. You need
Yeah.
to, if you're pendulum squatting 2 plates and a quarter next year, probably not much bigger,
True.
right? So that's like the thing. But again, at some point you start to get hurt if you don't have form, or there's no tension on the muscle. You're just using your joints. Your joints are going to get beat down. Your tendons are going to get worn down. So that's not
I feel like
advantageous either.
from the clips I've seen him, like for the most part, his form is not bad.
Oh, he has good form.
I feel like it's like he pushes himself to the point of literal failure, and that kind of comes off as ego. But if he had like a trainer with him, someone would help him lock that last rep out, on the Smith machine, or if it was like the pendulum squat. I think he does free weight.
I think from what I've seen,
You know?
again, I haven't seen every single video by any means. He's progressed in terms of learning. I think he's dealt with his own
Yeah.
nagging injuries, no significant injuries, but enough to where I think you wake up and you start to realize, like, okay, let me change a little bit here. But again, you still need to get strong. Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get
Come
strong
on.
with 5-second eccentrics and just doing a certain amount of reps and putting it down and waiting 60 seconds. Like, that's not going to do much for
Right.
you, But
Yeah.
there's a time and a place for a little bit of both. So
Sounds like a vegan.
what's wrong with vegans?
Nothing. Nothing. I don't think.
I got a
there's anything
veggie
wrong.
burger inside. Do you want one?
No, I'm picky. I'm a picky eater. I probably wouldn't like the texture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like sauces or anything. I don't think I could ever be a competitor because
I made him a meal yesterday before our workout.
Dry as
before
shit.
And he would not eat it. Couldn't finish it.
Why?
I couldn't
It was
finish
too
it
dry.
in the window that I had because it was like eating sand.
What'd you
Oh.
eat before the workout?
It was 97.3 turkey ground meat and rice. So 8 ounces of turkey ground meat.
Are you trying to be a bodybuilder?
That's how I eat.
Do I not look like a bodybuilder?
Aspiring one, yes.
Aspiring is crazy.
I'm not even gonna ask that question, but no, that's
wouldn't.
I made him and he said it was too dry. How fast did I eat mine?
He had it really fast, but he also has hot sauce. He has
So you
hot-
don't use any condiments?
No, I don't
How
like
come?
condiments. I just don't like. I don't know. It's weird.
He's a
Just
he's.
So what is
I
your
said-
ideal like pre-workout meal?
that, but like maybe better seasons. I don't know with
Oh, so you cooked it very poor.
him. Yeah, he like really took the moisture out of the meat. He
Mm.
didn't lubricate the rice out of the pack. You're supposed to put like a tablespoon of water in it and like mix
That's
it
a
up for it to
suggestion.
absorb. Didn't do that either. So I know I'm trying to take it down even with water. It just
Wasn't
like,
working.
It wasn't
See,
working.
I
I was
told
eating
him.
saltine crackers.
When it's somewhat dry, that's when you get a lot of water in. That's how I look at it.
I don't need to though. I already drink enough water. So he gave me one of his methods, but it wasn't necessary.
Didn't do it for you.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me.
What'd you get at Applebee's?
8-ounce sirloin,
I got the
mashed potatoes, and broccoli.
nice, good for
I
you.
dabbled in some boneless wings. I won't lie.
I'm not a big appetizer guy. I think I did chicken tortilla soup, ate like a quarter of it. Wasn't that good. Probably sitting in the pot all day. And then I did chicken Alfredo, chicken broccoli Alfredo, I think.
Okay.
And you didn't finish it.
I didn't finish all the carbs, but I made sure to eat the chicken.
Good boy.
That's heavy. It's pasta, you know?
Yeah.
I'll get somebody chubby. So I'd,
Growing up,
on
were
that.
you skinny?
I would say not like skinny. I didn't have like abs. I was skinny fat, you
Okay.
know. Not fat really either, but like, you know, I just had that like the
So you're
little
one of
kid
those
chub.
kids in shape that I hated.
I don't know if I don't think I had that athletic build. Like I wasn't walking around with a 6-pack not working out. I don't think I had that,
That was
until I
me.
started working out.
I was skin and bones. Besides, I had the skinny guy abs.
My little
That
brother
works.
had the athletic build with like you already had abs by default, and I hated that. So I had my dad get me the 6-minute ab workouts that cost way too much money. I had the ones where you could do it seated,
Yep.
and then you could do them like for your obliques, the side to side. It was like laying down position one. I got him to get me all the ones for the abs. I think it was middle school.
Did you ever use? I forgot what it was called. Honestly, it looked like it was the size of your water bottle. And you would like shake it.
Shake weight.
Yeah, the shake weight. You
Do
had
the
a shake
motion?
weight.
Do the motion. Show us what it is.
Nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna do all that.
I remember that
Demonstration
shit.
from a pro.
Have you used the shake weight?
No.
You never used the shake weight.
No. Why? You think it's optimal?
I think it's helpful for games for sure.
Hell no. That's like the electric things they put on their abs and it just shocks it. It's like what?
People buy that, huh?
You know, somebody took me and used it for an ad video for one of those.
Did they really?
Yeah, I was like, fuck that. Can I sue them or some shit over that? That's crazy.
You're an advocate for it.
But I've never. They were
Yeah, he uses
just.
them
They used
shits.
me in the video, but I never worn one.
He's like, shit.
It's crazy.
You guys exposed me.
It's
Yeah.
like damn.
That didn't go to bed with that thing on. That's why he's ripped.
It's funny.
No,
Yeah, what do you
but-
think of those like janky gadgets like that come out? You think it's just like
I think like
brain rot?
we live in like a contemporary era where we all want things tomorrow.
Quickly, yeah.
We want to put in as least effort and work, and then reap the rewards for what sometimes is you don't see behind the scenes that goes in all the sweat equity and the years that people put into like their craft. So when you see those gadgets or those fad diets, QVC sells weird gadgets too. It's believable for a person that wants to get the results doing minimal. So if you approach something and say, hey, in 30 days you're going to have X, Y, and Z, or hey, in 700 days, 2 years rather, what are you going to go with? Most of the time people are going to go, all right, 30 days I can do.
Yeah.
2 years? No.
Yeah.
But the reality is if you want sustainable results, nothing easy in life comes without usually a tremendous amount of work behind it, right?
Yeah. And you really wouldn't even appreciate it anyway if you got it easy.
Typically that's how it
Yeah.
goes.
So if you end up getting abs in say like a week, you probably lose them in a week anyway.
Good point.
You know?
Well, you got any more questions? I think we should wrap things up.
Yeah. No, I think this is.
Sure.
I just wanted to let people know when we knocked on the door, you walked out. You said that's a dope shirt, and he went and put on the exact same shirt. So
It is. I thought I picked the right color, but I guess I'm colorblind, so
I'm glad I inspired you.
yes.
No, we're
Always.
actually you're with YoungLa as well, huh?
Of course.
Of course. Him not so much.
Not so much for you.
I'm okay.
For now.
Yeah.
No.
No.
You know,
It's good.
okay.
There's different. You're at Gymshark?
Gymshark.
Great brand. Been around, so
Mhm.
that's good. That both companies do very well.
As
for
long as
good
we're all
reason.
happy, I think that's all that matters, right?
That is the
As
main
you're
thing. As long
happy-
as you enjoy the clothes,
As long as you're exactly.
you know, you guys are good walking billboards for both brands, no matter what brand you're with. So
Yeah.
that's the main thing, right?
No,
Thanks.
that's good. We always banter about it, but
Yeah.
I respect Gymshark too.
Thanks.
But
Respect YoungLa.
anyway, anything else you want to say? Anything you want to access? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, the floor is yours,
No,
Kyle.
I don't do any of the plugging. Like you mentioned the workout and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't. And I'm all about trying to provide as much information as possible. So if I think I can genuinely help somebody, awesome. If I think someone's better off being referred elsewhere, I try to do that.
Mhm.
You know, that's like the main thing is if I can help someone, that's where I find satisfaction, not so much in individual accolades or shit like that. I appreciate you guys having me on. Very thoughtful of you.
Appreciate you having
You're
us.
welcome back.
At your own home.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks for letting us
You
into
tired?
your home.
You still tired?
No, I just yawn.
Oh, just yawn,
I think
alright.
when I sit, I yawn a lot. It's
Mhm.
weird. I noticed it in my barber too. Like as soon as I sit in it's like certain sitting positions, I just yawn. It's annoying.
Work on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna because I know it's a pet peeve of yours. So I
Yes.
don't want to make sure next time we get a lift in, if I yawn again.
I count them. You had 4 yesterday.
Damn.
It's okay, man.
You were scaring me.
But again, it was because I was laying down on the leg press. I think it's
Yeah.
different.
Cause,
Or the
you were
floor.
you were trying to get that post up. I was like, get it off.
I know I felt.
Yeah, I saw that again. I'm like, damn. No, but I understand. Like I said, we all have different obligations,
It
and
was a
sometimes they're time
sponsored
sensitive.
post,
So
I really wanted to I wanted it off my head because I felt like if I didn't post it, it would have
Yeah.
bothered me the whole workout. I was like, it was the Wi-Fi being super slow.
Right.
So and then one of the girls' ads that I needed to tag wasn't loading, and I was like, come on, it was the simplest, dumbest things, you know.
yeah.
But no, I dialed in every time. It was my set. I just put
He
the phone
disappeared a
in.
few times, but you were there for the most part. Yeah, you did good.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. A 4 out of 10. It's good.
Well, I'll have a redemption shot. I like
Yeah.
You let me
We're
know
gonna
when.
get redemption.
Yeah.
We're gonna do legs again. I'm calling it.
just need a month for like full recovery though. At least a month.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, thanks again for taking us through a workout.
man.
Thank you for having us here. Thank you for being patient with us. We really appreciate it.
No,
course.
thank you so much, Kyle. It was a
Well,
pleasure to have
keep
you.
me posted, like I said. So again, thank you again. I appreciate it. It's been an enjoyable conversation, and I look forward to seeing what you guys do with the podcast in the future for sure.
Absolutely. Sir Kyle Wilkes. Sir Kyle Wilkes, everybody.
Thank you for not messing my name up.
Boom.